Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. I hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday. Our house guests of the day are Michelle Nicole, Alyssa Koch, and we also have Janine Honberger and her wife Elena Carrillo. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you all so much, so thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, send us an email to madrosed@gmail.com and we'll get you on the list. Just make sure that you put house guest of the day in the subject line so we can find you. And before we get started, I also just wanted to thank you all so much for the outpouring of love and support for our sweet kitty homie. You guys, I can't even tell you how comforting it was to read all of your comments and just to see, like, a lot of you guys have been around for a really long time. And you remember seeing Homer in the videos when my sister was living at my parents' house. So it's really touching to see how much you guys all loved him. So thank you again so much. And also our hearts go out to everybody else who has lost a pet recently, because it really, it really is tough. So thank you all so much. All right, let's talk about some Big Brother, because things are going down. This is a much needed distraction. So when we left off yesterday, new HOH, Miss Rachel Riley, her 7th all-time HOH win. She was preparing to make her nominations, and she wasn't telling anybody going into this ceremony who she was thinking about putting up. Like, not even us, the viewers. She was not even telling us. But she was saying that she was going to make a huge move. She doesn't want to miss her shot. So I'm wondering, like, what's she going to do? This is so exciting. Who's it going to be? We're going to get into all that. But we also saw that Rachel and Keanu locked in a final 2, and they are calling themselves frenemies. Excuse me. Which, it's the seltzer. Which I think is a fantastic name for them. I think it really encapsulates their relationship in this game. But Keanu also has been pushing for Rachel and Vinny to make amends. He's trying to parent trap them, and they're both resisting. I mean, Vinny is going for it, of course, because he doesn't want to go up on the block. But Rachel's like, I don't know. I don't know that I can trust him. And rightly so. He's also wanting the 3 of them to make an alliance with Kelly, Catherine, and Riley. He wants to put together this group of 6, and Rachel is also resisting that. She's telling Keanu, I don't want an alliance that big. It's too many people. I think maybe she also doesn't want an alliance with some of those people. I mean, she knows she can't trust Riley. Riley has lied to her multiple times, and while she's not necessarily targeting him at the moment, she doesn't want to work with him. Vince, of course not. Kelly, she's working on, but like they're not totally there yet. Yeah. So let's get into some stuff here. I told you guys yesterday we were going to pick it up with Rachel's one-on-one conversation with Mickey. So let's get into that. First of all, Mickey told Rachel that she woke up that morning and her throat was hurting. She keeps losing her voice, keeps going in and out, but she said her throat was hurting. Good thing she drank straight out of the lemonade container the night before. She just took it right out of the fridge, took a gulp, and put it back. Ah! I'm sorry. That's so gross. I'm hoping it was a situation of, like, maybe Mickey got that lemonade in her HOH basket and, like, everybody else knew it was hers. So, like, maybe she's the only one drinking from it. That's, like, what I want to assume, just because it would be so messed up to drink straight out of the container like that if that is a shared drink. But also, she does think that she's running this whole game. She owns this house. So, I don't know. It's just gross. But anyway, they talk about how they're feeling about the game so far. And Mickey's like, yeah, I think it's going well. I think it's good for me, blah, blah, blah. And then Rachel's talking about what she thinks, and Mickey interrupts her and asks Rachel, can you just, like, be real with me? Because I feel like since Jimmy's left, I haven't gotten the real you that I used to get. I wonder why. It's almost like you took out her number one ally and best friend when you were all supposed to be working together. So Mickey says, I get that you liked him, but I love you too. Do you though? So Rachel tells Mickey, I feel very betrayed by you. You did not take my game into consideration when you took out Jimmy. And then after that, you kind of iced me out. You stopped talking to me. We weren't cooking together anymore. So Mickey's like, all right, could you like come sit by me? Because Rachel was sitting like across from her, and Mickey wanted her to sit on the same couch, like looking at her directly. What kind of bullshit power play is that? In Rachel's own HOH room. But Rachel's like, all right, fine, whatever. So she goes and sits by her. And where am I? Okay. Rachel says, I feel like you've picked other people over me, which is fine. Like, you're totally allowed to do that. You don't have to work with me. But Rachel says it's getting to the point where it's detrimental to my game. I mean, Mickey's working with people that maybe want to take Rachel out. So Rachel's asking Mickey, do you think this thing between us is beyond repair? And Mickey says, well, I thought that taking out Jimmy was best for both of our games. Girl. Girl, come on. She says, Jimmy was not a part of my big picture game. She says she was most concerned about working and keeping safe, working with and keeping safe Rachel, Will, Ava. I can't remember if she mentioned Ashley or not. She might have mentioned Ashley, but she said even Morgan, like she's not in that group. And she tells Rachel, I knew you liked Jimmy personally, but I didn't think he was like an intricate part of your game. Give me a break, lady. You knew exactly what you were doing. But Mickey says Jimmy was messy and mean to everyone. And she didn't think that it was going to mess Rachel up. So Mickey also brings up when she was HOH and Rachel went to her. Remember when Rachel was asking in code to be nominated? And it was like the day after she found out that Mickey and Morgan were saying that they wanted to take out Rachel once jury started, which, okay, this did happen. Let's not get it twisted. They did say that multiple times, and it got back to Rachel. So that was when Rachel was feeling really discouraged and feeling like she had no shot. So, like, why even stick around if she was just going to end up in the jury house for a month? So she had gone to Mickey and basically asked to be put up on the block. Again, in code, she was saying you should put Ava up, but like she meant her. So Mickey's bringing that up, and she was like, I could have easily put you up on the block, but I wanted you here. I still want you here. Did she want her there at the time? Absolutely. Because again, she thought that Rachel would be good in jury for her. But now she doesn't want Rachel around anymore. So Mickey also brings up that Kelly told her some stuff that Rachel said. Mickey says, Kelly told me that you thought I was targeting you and that I iced you out. And also she mentioned that you said I didn't bring you a grilled cheese. Not grilled cheese gate. The other day, Mickey was offering to make grilled cheese for people. And she was asking a bunch of people if they wanted any. And Rachel noticed that Mickey did not ask her. So Mickey's like, oh, well, you know, I knew that you'd probably say no anyway. You're not into that. Also, I was using the gross vegan cheese. Excuse me. Let's not slander the vegan cheese because there's a lot of really good vegan cheese out there. Mickey really wants to be like double on my shit list. But anyway, she's telling Rachel like it wasn't like that at all. But Mickey does bring up how she felt like Rachel was icing her out because Rachel used to walk around the house and the yard with Mickey, and she saw Rachel asking like everybody but her. She's like, you're besties with Kelly now. So how am I supposed to feel about that? This is all just so petty. So then Mickey starts trying to throw Keanu under the bus. And she says, Keanu told me that he does not want you on the jury. He said you're too emotional. And I have to point out, I'm pretty sure that Keanu went to Rachel right after he said that to people and gave her the heads up about that and was like, look, I'm telling people this to make it seem like we're not working together. But like, obviously he wants to work with Rachel and go really far with her. So I think Rachel even chastised him about it because she was like, I get that you're trying to like throw people off, but don't say like disparaging things about me if you want to work with me. Like, that's not the way to do it. So yeah, that was not legit. But Mickey is trying to say like Keanu doesn't want you around, blah blah blah. Also, she brings up that Keanu told her that Rachel said she would consider voting for Vince to stay last week if Keanu could convince Vince to target Mickey for Rachel. So I remember this coming up on Thursday morning before the eviction episode, and the way that I remember it, Vince was the one who told Mickey about this. So it's not like Keanu went to her and told this. Why would he do that? It wouldn't make sense. Keanu wants Mickey out, so he's not going to give her information like that. But she is trying to get that target on Keanu here. So then Mickey starts crying. And she says, my feelings were really hurt. It felt like you didn't like me anymore. You know, I'm hearing that you want me out. You know what Mickey's leaving out of this? All of the crap that she has talked about Rachel and all of the plotting that she has done to try to get people to target Rachel. I mean, I'll never forget because it's burned into my memory. All of the M&M strategy sessions with her explaining all the different scenarios to everybody, explaining why Rachel should be the one to go next week. We're not going to forget that, ma'am. But Mickey tells Rachel, I have never disliked you. I have never not respected you. I wish we could roll the clip of Mickey saying, I think it was to Will the other day, that she's going to embarrass Rachel on TV in front of her husband and 2 kids. But she tells Rachel, I'm not betraying you. I don't want to betray you. I want you here. I love you. And I'm sorry for sending Jimmy home if you needed him. But he was okay with taking the fall for me. Or he was okay with me taking the fall for him. And she says, that's not fair. Okay. So Rachel is like, well, all my allies keep leaving. I feel like I'm on an island by myself at this point. And she says to Mickey, I love you. But I don't know. She says, I don't want to make a big mistake. I don't want to lose a friend in here. Oh, no. Is this working? Is this actually working? Rachel cannot possibly be falling for all of this, right? Because Mickey has talked so extensively about how she wants Rachel out. But these two are talking about starting over. They're talking about moving forward together. And Mickey says, I'm starting to see the human side of you. What? It is week 6. You're starting to see the human side of Rachel? That's like an insane thing to say to somebody that you were supposedly like close with before. That's not a good thing. That's not a compliment. But Mickey is telling Rachel, I'm going to respect whatever you want to do with your nominations. Okay, we'll see. So meanwhile, while that's all happening, this is wild. Morgan is crashing out about Zach. She's talking to Ashley in the train bedroom, and Morgan's like, oh, I wish Zach was here. He's such a good guy. He's so amazing. And she says, no offense to Lauren, but Zach was so hung up on the perfect girl that he didn't see the person who was actually fighting for him to stay. And she says, this isn't even like a pick-me thing, but I was throwing my game to the side for them because their game is my game. This is totally a pick-me thing. But there's just like so much to unpack here. But the one thing I will say right now is that it's wild to me that Morgan is criticizing Lauren for voting out Zach when Morgan also voted out Zach. Absolutely insane. But Morgan's jealousy of Lauren and Zach is definitely bubbling over at this point. I don't even know if she knows that Zach had already like planned out his first date with Lauren after this whole thing's over, I think that would put her over the top. I don't think she's heard about that. But Morgan went up to the gym alone, and she's crying, and she's wishing that Zach was still there. And she's like, I hope he's going to forgive me. Oh, my God. And she says, I'm an awful Big Brother player. At least she's a little bit self-aware. I don't know. But Vince joins her eventually, and they're both just like, we're probably going up on the block, but like we were never coming for Rachel. We were never targeting her. How can you say that with a straight face? Do you have like goldfish memories or like what is this? But Morgan says, if I go up and I am still up when it's time to vote, I'm going to go because I'm not going to have the votes to stay. I don't know. I think anybody could go this week. It's really hard to say what would happen right now. But the fees went down for nominations, and Rachel ended up putting up Morgan, Mickey, and Vince. Hey, that's very exciting. Good for her. I think she made a good choice there. I'm really happy that she didn't fall for what Mickey was doing. But when the feeds came back, Mickey was in the wine room with Ashley, Ava, and Will. And Mickey is livid. She's crying. She's saying, oh, Rachel was asking me to put her up during my HOH, but I didn't do it. I told her to stay. I didn't send her home when I could have. And she also just had me upstairs. She was telling me she loves me. She's not coming for me. She was asking for a reset. And then she still put me up on the block. And Mickey says, that's effed up. And she says, I should have sent her ass home when I had the chance. And then Will and Ashley were like, yeah, you totally should have done that for sure. What are you two doing? Will has been one of the biggest yes men this whole season. Whoever he's talking to, it doesn't matter. He's going to agree with what they're saying. Every single time. Ashley, I don't even know what Ashley's doing. We're going to get into Ashley in a minute, but like this girl, I think she's on the right path, and then she takes like 5 steps backwards. But anyway, Ashley says to Mickey, we still have the veto. And if any of us win, we will take you off the block. You better not. Okay, so Mickey says, also, Vinny didn't do anything to Rachel either. Rachel is just mad because the house isn't like swarming around her like it was 15 years ago. She clearly has not seen Rachel's seasons because it was like Rachel and Brendan against everybody. I don't know what she's talking about. She also has been saying lately that Rachel was like this savage, conniving player. Conniving, no. Loud, yes. Could she win a lot of comps to keep herself safe? Yes. But she was not like the most strategic, backstabby type player. But anyway, Mickey says, Rachel said that I betrayed her, but I feel betrayed. I tried to be nice to her. I tried to be sweet and uplifting. That was sweet and uplifting. What? But then Mickey says Rachel is exactly who she was 15 years ago. Nasty, manipulative, and conniving. And she says, I'll say that to her face if you say so. And she also said 2 kids and a husband does not make you a better person. All right. Meanwhile, Morgan is talking to Rachel in the HOH room. And Morgan is apologizing for not talking to Rachel before the nominations. That's pretty bad. How are you going to not talk to the HOH when you know you're probably going to be in trouble this week? Like, you don't even want to try. But Rachel says, that's not why I nominated you. I nominated you because I feel like if the roles were reversed, you would have nominated me. And Morgan's like, you're right. She owns up to it, which I think was a nice touch because, like, she got, right? But Morgan tries to frame it as like, oh, I would have put you up, but you wouldn't have been my target. She's saying she would have targeted Keanu and she would have just put Rachel up there because she wouldn't want to risk Rachel using the veto on Keanu. Sure, Morgan. We heard what you said last week. But Rachel tells her, of course, like everyone's going to go up at some point, especially when there are 3 nominees in this season every week. And Morgan's like, yeah, I was happy for you when you won HOH. I'm glad you got to see your kids. So I feel like Morgan handled herself really well in this conversation with Rachel. I think part of the reason is because she's getting so riled up about Lauren. Like, she's got bigger distractions going on right now, as crazy as that sounds, because, like, she's on the block. But it seems like she is more concerned about the love triangle with her, Lauren, and Zach, even though Zach is gone now. But anyway, Rachel checks in with Ava in the train bedroom. And Rachel's like, I'm sorry, I know you're close with Mickey, but like, I had to put Mickey up because she is trying to control this game. She's controlling the votes. She took over your HOH room last week and was like having meetings in there. Yeah. And Ava's like, that is true. She saw it happening and she says, I was just trying to ignore it. I just wanted to listen to the Beatles and read my letter from my boyfriend. So Rachel tells Ava, I'm always going to have your back. You don't have to worry about that. And Ava says, this whole thing, like, this is between you and Mickey. I respect your HOH. I respect your wishes. Like, do what you got to do. Okay, because before, Ava was like kind of trying to protect Mickey, but I think Ava is starting to realize maybe Mickey has gone too far overboard at this point with wanting to target Rachel. And Ava is definitely trying to distance herself a bit from Mickey. She had told Will before, like, if Mickey is going to target Rachel behind our backs, that's on her. Like, she can make her own bed. I'm not going to lie in it. So Ava is definitely moving away from Mickey. A little later, Ashley and Rachel are chatting in the HOH room. Ashley had a bunch of toilet paper hanging out of the back of her pants. How does that even happen? How is that even a thing? Apparently, she was saying later that, like, I guess she puts toilet paper down on the seat before she goes, which seems like a huge waste with, like, that many people in the house, but whatever. But I guess she had it on the seat, and then she got up and pulled up her pants, and it got caught in her pants. But, like, she was sitting there for at least a good 45 minutes having a serious conversation with that toilet paper hanging out of her butt. But anyway, let's talk about the serious conversation. So Ashley tells Rachel she was shocked by the nominations. She was not expecting that. And she tells Rachel, I think you got played by Keanu and Kelly to make that move. Oh my God, Ashley. What is this? Because just before, Ashley was telling Will, like, how is Mickey saying she wasn't coming after Rachel? Like, she absolutely was, for sure. She's delusional for saying that she wasn't. But now Ashley's talking to Rachel and she's like, yeah, I think you got played. This was a dumb move. She knows that Mickey and Morgan have been targeting Rachel. But Ashley is trying to argue why Keanu and Kelly are playing Rachel. And she says, Keanu said that he didn't want you on jury. You're too emotional. He wanted to make some alliance to take out Will, Ava, Mickey. She's basically spitting back out all of the points that Mickey was trying to make to Rachel already for why Keanu should go up on the block. She also says Kelly told Mickey that you felt like she was icing you out, crying over grilled cheese or something. And also Keanu told Morgan that you wanted to target her. And Ashley says this really changed things for me because hearing that Keanu was the one who told Morgan that makes Ashley think that Keanu is trying to pit them against each other. And that's the only reason why Morgan started wanting to target Rachel. Girl, come on. So she's like, Keanu was trying to pit you guys against each other and you fell for it. That's not how she laughs. I can't do Ashley's laugh. I have to, like, think about it. It's, like, very, like, I can't. But Ashley says, Mickey and Morgan were not targeting you. That's a lie, and she knows it. But yeah, Ashley says, I wanted all of us to go far together. Mickey and Morgan are better allies for us than Keanu is. Not for Rachel, maybe for you, but not for Rachel. And Ashley is saying, I hope you win the power veto and that you'll use it on Mickey, because you can still make this right if you take her off the block. Oh, hell no. So this conversation went on forever, and Ashley was really trying to push that Mickey was never targeting Rachel and that Keanu should be the target this week. Boo! We hate it. But she's also telling Rachel, even if Mickey stays on the block, she will have the votes to stay. Would she? I don't know about that. But she's saying she will have the votes to stay, and she could win HOH next week, and you're going to be vulnerable. So, like, is this really something you want to be doing? So eventually she does discover the toilet paper stuck in her pants, and they had a really good laugh about it. And Rachel was like, not Rachel, Ashley was like, Big Brother, please don't use this footage. Like, I look so dumb, blah, blah, blah. I mean, she looks dumb for other reasons. But anyway, Ashley is doing the most. I just can't see why she would side with Mickey, especially the way that Mickey talks to her and treats her. It's too much. But later, Morgan and Mickey are chatting in the wine room, and Mickey says Rachel is so dumb for putting the two of them on the block. She says the plan was never to take Rachel out first once jury starts. Oh my God. Big Brother better freaking bring out the receipts for that episode, because these two are lying to themselves now too, if they actually believe that. They have said it so many times. It's insane. But Morgan is now talking crap about Lauren. She's saying she's really annoyed because she asked Lauren if she were to win the veto this week, would she use it on either her or Vince? And Lauren was like, she did an impression of Lauren. She was like, oh, Lauren said, I don't know, like I'd have to talk to everybody. And Morgan's like, spit it out. I mean, I kind of agree with her on that part. I agree with her on the spit it out part. But she is taking like any chance she can now to just talk crap about Lauren, like any little thing. And then Morgan whips out this ratty old bracelet that Zach left behind. She's been holding on to this thing. And apparently somebody had asked Zach about it in one of his exit interviews. It might have been Sharon Tharp. She might have been the one to ask him about it. And basically asking, like, did you leave this behind on purpose? Like, did you leave it behind for Morgan or Lauren to find? And he had basically said, like, it was old and gross, and I was just getting rid of it. Like, I didn't want to take it with me. So Morgan, she's just like, ooh, like looking at this bracelet. And she says, you know, I was thinking about giving it to Lauren, but I'm definitely not going to give it to her now. She says, I fought so hard for Zach to stay. So a little later, Morgan is now even complaining to Vince about Lauren. She's saying Lauren didn't fight for Zach. She says it's not a good look. And she's also saying this to the person that ended up staying because Zach left. But she says sometimes the girl that you're fully head over heels for because of the way she looks and how she is, that girl doesn't even have your effing back. She says she didn't do shit for him, and she's just sitting pretty right now. She says, me, though, I stand on business. Morgan's going off the deep end. I can't. Okay, so later, Ashley and Mickey are chatting in the train bedroom. And oh my God, while they were talking, Ava was there in the room, up in her top bunk. At the time, it was like, is Ava asleep? Is she awake? Can she hear them? Do Mickey and Ashley know that she's in there? Do they not know? Or do they just figure like she's asleep? It was unclear at the time, but those two are just chatting away. Ashley's telling Mickey about the conversation that she had with Rachel. And she's like, oh, you know, Rachel was telling me she didn't want to put you up and that she's considering using the veto on you if she wins. I hope not. But Ashley's like, yeah, I told Rachel that could really fix things if she were to take you off the block. So Mickey starts calling Rachel petty as hell, saying, I'm not down for the Rachel Riley show. And Ashley says, we need to pretend. You need to pretend to be down for the Rachel Riley show in order to get yourself off the block this week. So Mickey says, if I get power again, I'm going after Rachel. And again, Ashley's like, it's fine. That's fine if you want to do that. But we have to get through this week. We have to make sure you're going to be safe. So then Ava's chatting with Will in the living room. I also have to mention, Will was talking to Ashley at one point yesterday, and Will was like, oh, America's going to hate this move by Rachel, like putting all, those three up on the block right after Zach leaves, like it's too soon. What? We love this move. I mean, I don't want to speak for all of America, but I love this move. I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, Ava confirms that she did, in fact, hear Mickey and Ashley's conversation. Ah! So Ava's like, I don't know why Mickey is going around saying that she never said anything about Rachel. Girl, listen, here's the tea. She says, just accept it and move on because lying more is not helping your case. And then Ava says, and Ashley? She always says Ashley. What is she doing? She says, Rachel kept your ass safe this week. Be grateful. So, yeah, Ava is continuing to move further and further away from Mickey. We knew she already was not trusting Ashley. This situation is making her not trust Ashley even more. So Will says, I don't know what to say or do, right? Because he's kind of in the middle here. And, I mean, let's be real. Again, Will just says, he just goes along with whoever he's talking to, with whatever they say. So I guess he's just going to keep doing what he's already been doing. But I would love to see some diary room sessions from Will and find out what he actually thinks here. But Ava says, frankly, if Mickey keeps acting a fool, there's nothing that I can do for her. And Will says, yeah, we're going to have to separate from her. We don't need that smoke. And Ava says, I do not trust Mickey as much as I did last week. Woo! She's coming out from under the curse. So Ava chats with Rachel later. She did not directly spill about the conversation that she overheard from Ashley and Mickey. Why not? I'm wondering if maybe she's holding on to this info for a more opportune time. Maybe she wants to see what happens with the veto first, see who wins, and then if she needs to pull this information out, she'll do it then. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. But Rachel says, oh, wait, sorry. They discuss how weird Mickey has been acting. And Ava is not really trying to defend Mickey as much as she was before. They agree that Mickey has been trying to control everything. And Rachel says, even with all that, though, she does not want Mickey to go this week. And she says she's seriously considering using the veto on Mickey if she wins. Again, I hope Rachel's just saying this because I think she too may also just be waiting to hear or waiting to find out what happens with this veto because she doesn't want to show all of her cards unnecessarily, right? That's what I'm hoping. But Ava, baby, you're going to have to spill at some point. You're going to have to tell Rachel what's really going on. But one more thing from last night. I could not believe that this was real. At first, I thought this was just like a joke post. But last night, Morgan dug Zach's toothbrush out of the garbage and like put it away somewhere. This girl's down bad. Oh my God. I'm not digging the toothbrush out of the garbage. That's too much. It's too much. Okay, so today they had the POV player picks, and of course, Rachel the HOH is playing. We've got the three nominees, Mickey, Morgan, and Vince. And then we have the two extra players, Will and Lauren. Can you imagine how much Morgan's going to freak the F out if Lauren wins veto? I kind of want Lauren to win the veto. Because then, like, she would either leave the nominations the same or pull Vince down, I think, right? And I'd be fine with Vince coming down. But like, I kind of don't want Rachel to win the veto because I'm nervous that she might use it on Mickey. And obviously, I don't want Mickey or Morgan to win the veto. But yeah, I think Lauren winning the veto would just be everything. That's my pick. But the house guests have been waiting around for the veto competition. We know that it's OTEV this week. Ah, so exciting. I can't wait to see who the OTEV is this season, like what the character is. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Mickey was still pushing to Rachel that she's not targeting her. She never was. Liar! She tried to turn on the tears, of course. And it's hard to tell if Rachel is buying any of this or just playing along. I'm leaning towards just playing along because we saw similar stuff before the nominations and then Rachel still put her up on the block. So again, I think she's just kind of like biding her time, waiting to see what happens with the veto, and then she'll do what needs to be done. But yeah, Keanu was trying to pump Vinny up for the veto because Keanu really wants Mickey to go this week. He says she's got to go. We can't miss this shot because if she sticks around and she wins HOH, it's going to be like me, Rachel, and Kelly going up on the block. Yeah, that could be. It's interesting, though, today, Morgan and Mickey were talking, and it was just the two of them, and they were talking about how their targets are kind of shifting at this point. And they were saying, like, even though they're pissed about going up on the block, they're not necessarily targeting Rachel right now. I mean, it's easy to say right now. Who knows? I never expected Mickey to target Jimmy. So, like, who knows what they would actually do if they got power again. But they were talking about how annoyed they're getting with Keanu and Kelly. So they would be putting them up. They've also been talking about how that showmance needs to be split up. Riley and Catherine. Riley, by the way, is still telling Catherine, I'm going to marry you. And, like, I don't care what you think about it. Like, I'm going to marry you. Gross. All right. So the feeds have been down for the OTEV competition for a while now. And it might still be quite a bit because that competition usually does take a while to get through because of all the different rounds they have to do. Except for last season when it was over, literally like the first round. But I guess they're doing better this season. So good for them. But yeah, if you guys want to check back later, I will put the winner of today's POV comp in the description for this stream. And I also want to thank all of our super chatters before I head out for the day. So let's see who we got. Susan Pengilly, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. Forever Young Zoe, thank you for the super chat. And they said, so I guess it's been 5 episodes since Lauren has had a DR. Has it really? This has to be a record, right? Also, are you going to apply for traders? Okay. The fact that Lauren has not had a DR in that long is insane. But also, like, I feel like I barely mention her in any of the spoilers because, like, she just so rarely comes up. And when I do see conversations that she's having with people, they're so indecisive. Like, she's not making any declarative statements. So it's not worth it for me to mention them in this stream for the most part. But yeah, she's getting a lot of mentions now, though, because Morgan is on her freaking ass. And am I going to apply for the traders? I just saw that they announced that they're going to be doing like a civilian version of the traders as well. That's very exciting. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. It would be kind of fun, right? Honestly, I would apply just so I could go meet Alan Cumming. I am such a fan of Alan Cumming. Also, it would be fun to go to Scotland. That is like Sean and I, that's like our #1 destination that we would like to go to if we were able to go on like a big trip. You got me thinking about it now. I don't know. Maybe I should apply. That'd be fun. I'll have to look into that. I think I'd be terrible, but I would look into it. I think it would be awful at the competitions. But yeah, that's fun. So thank you again so much. And Linda Ford, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate you. Connor Benson, thank you so much. Connor says, I saw a bag of M&Ms at the store today and had a jump scare. Seriously though, I also saw, I guess they got restocked in the storage room, and they were like, oh, more M&Ms, like they must know we love these. How many of those M&Ms are actually being eaten, and how many are just being used for these freaking strategy conversations? But he says, game wise, I'm so confused and disappointed with Ashley. Same. I want to root for her one day, and then I'm scratching my head at her the next. I know. She boggles my mind. I'm not like rooting against her at this point because like I think she still has potential, but like every time I think that she finally has it together, she does something insane and just it doesn't make sense. Like she's working against herself, but I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. Jay Fisher, thank you so much for the super chat, and yeah, for the popcorn sticker. Victoria Smith, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And Sean Davis, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, these are the best noms so far. Hell yeah. Any of them can go. Mickey for being mean-spirited, Vince for all the whining, Morgan for being passive-aggressive and saving Zach's toothbrush. Catherine needs a restraining order. I mean, yes to all of it, right? My number one person that I would want to see go at this point would be Mickey, just because I just can't get over the way that she talks to people and how mean she can be, but then she's also hiding behind her religion. And she's got like a holier than thou attitude. I just can't take that. Morgan, I kind of feel bad for her at this point. It's making me really sad. And then Vince is like, whatever. I think he needs to go at some point, but like, he's not an immediate need to go for me. Catherine, yeah. Catherine needs to be liberated from Riley. We're going to need to split that up, right? We're going to need Riley to go pre-jury and Catherine to be in the jury so that, like, she has some time away from him. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great Saturday. I will see you all tomorrow evening for the episode recap, and then the next stream will be on Monday. So enjoy your Saturday evening, and until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.